We are back in the Stop Motion Cup Series, starting off the round of 12 in our Season 1 playoffs. 4 drivers have already been eliminated from the championship hunt, and after today we'll have a greater idea of which 4 will be eliminated next week at Austin. Here are the point standings coming into today's race. Naturally, all the drivers are tied up currently at 3,000 points, but by the end of the day, some drivers will definitely have more than others. Obviously. You see here are 12 drivers in contention as of this point. In the last round, Brad Keselowski, Joey Logano, Clint Bowyer, and Dale Earnhardt Jr. were eliminated. Here are your ones to watch. Greg Biffle is your pole sitter for today's race, and he is in fact still a playoff driver. Brad Keselowski was in my opinion, the greatest surprise elimination of the last round. Meanwhile, Kyle Larson barely made it through to the last round. Surprisingly, he made it. He's looking for some momentum. And Denny Hamlin won the last race at the Roval, coming in with some momentum into this race. Let's see if he can carry it on. Here's your starting lineup for today's race. In row 1, we have Brad Keselowski and Greg Biffle and Brad Keselowski. Row 2, we have Eric Almirola and Jeff Gordon. Row 3, we have Kevin Harvick and David Reagan. Row 4, Kyle Larson and Martin Truex Jr. Row 5, AJ Allmendinger, Trevor Bayne. Row 6, Kyle Busch and Joey Logano. Row 7, Michael McDowell and Kurt Busch. Row 8, David Gilliland and Jimmy Johnson. Row 9, Casey Kane and Clint Bowyer. Row 10, Bobby Labonte and Dale Earnhardt Jr. Row 11, Carl Edwards and Ryan Newman. Row 12, Paul Menard and Michael Annett. Row 13, Jeb Burton and Ricky Stenhouse Jr. Row 14, Tony Stewart and David Reagan. Row 15, Denny Hamlin and Ryan Blaney. Row 16, Jamie McMurray and Cole Witt. Row 17, Matt Kenseth and Austin Dillon. Row 18, Casey Mears and Ty Dillon. Row 19, Danica Patrick and Sam Hornish Jr. Row 20, Justin Allgaier and Landon Castle. Row 21, Regan Smith and Matt DiBenedetto. And starting last in today's race, J.J. Yaley. Here are the keys to today's race. We have 14 laps and all 43 cars are racing today. The round of 12 begins. And who will have enough points going into Austin to have a chance to not be in a bad situation? Let's find out. Green flag is out here at Kansas. Greg Biffle clears Brad Keselowski through turn 2. On the backstretch here for the first time. 3 wide further back. Greg Biffle's going to come through to lead the first lap with Eric Almirola charging through on his inside. They'll be side by side going down the backstretch. Brad Keselowski giving a little drafting help there to Eric Almirola, who will go through the fourth corner and lead lap 2. Brad Keselowski is now going to try to go 3 wide on them. Will not work, however, as Eric Almirola clears both him and... We got a big crash here! Crash in turn 4. Back markers strike again as the caution is out. Major crash through turns 3 and 4 here on lap 3. Here's your replay of the incident. As we see, Jeb Burton got a little bit loose there. Got tagged from behind by his teammate Matt DiBenedetto. Got into Ty Dillon. From there, it was on. J.J. Yaley got a little contact there with Danica Patrick. Landon Castle and Regan Smith somehow managed to make it through without any damage. As it looks like Ty Dillon will be out of this race along with Jeb Burton. And Matt DiBenedetto as well. Perhaps. As we have Danica Patrick and J.J. Yaley also on pit road here. Matt Benedetto indeed did have enough too much damage there on the car to continue. Looks like Patrick and Yaley will try to continue in this race, however. We are back here at the decision, the choose roll after last week's Roval race, or last event. It's a Roval race, not having one. Here's the sponsor for today's race, Isolated. Link to that channel in the description. Alright, drivers are back ready to go back on green again. Here on lap 5, the green flag is out once more. Eric Almirola, Brad Keselowski front row. Eric Almirola will clear Keselowski again. Truex Jr. takes second away. So we are on board here with Eric Almirola. As Martin Truex Jr. is going to make the pass on Eric Almirola here. Not clear yet, but he will lead the lap. Brad Keselowski is going 3 wide down the middle. Gonna lose some spots. Kevin Harvick clears Almirola. We have another crash on the front stretch. This time, suspiciously involving all of the yellow and blue cars. Caution is out once again. David Reagan, Paul Menard, Sam Harris Jr. all involved here. Here's a replay of the incident. You see, Sam Harris Jr. thought he could go into the inside of Paul Menard, but he was anywhere near clear. Got into Paul Menard, got into David Reagan, and around they all went there. Brett Moffitt and Cole Witt barely managed to squeeze through. Almost had a major wreck in our hands, just like that first one. Anyways, it looks like Paul Menard and Sam Harris Jr. are going to go to the garage. David Reagan will continue in this race, however, as he only spun around that one time. So we now have 5 drivers out of today's race. We're here just now in the middle of it. Here we are, back in the lane selection again. Oh, that's going to be a penalty on Eric Almirola. Choose lane violation, and Brad Keselowski as well. For only the second and third time this year, we have had penalties on the choose roll. We have Brad Keselowski and Eric Almirola both being served commitment line violations. They will have to go to the rear of the field here, the rear of the longest line for each. Here we have our highlights for today's race. On lap 1, we began what is this caution-filled race here at Kansas. Also the start of the round of 12. On lap 3, we had a large wreck involving a bunch of back markers, most of which seem to be single car teams or BK Racing. At lap 6, we had a 3-car wreck on the front stretch involving Paul Menard, Sam Harris Jr., and David Reagan. The last of which is still continuing in this race. And just now on lap 7, we had 2 non-chase drivers penalized with the choose rule violation here as they hit the triangle there that determines what lane you start in. Alright, after all this chaos that's happened so far, will we be able to go green to the finish? Or will there be another caution? Let's find out. Martin Truex Jr. manages to clear Kevin Harvick into 2. We see he's going to clear both Jeff Gordon and Kevin Harvick going through 3 and 4. It looks like Jeff Gordon's going to try to make a pass on the inside here through 1 and 2. Doesn't manage to complete it through the corners. Looks like he'll try it again. However, in this corner, Kyle Busch also starting to move up the field. Now in 3rd place. Jeff Gordon has currently managed to maintain the lead here on lap 10. Looks like Kyle Busch is going to try to get past Martin Truex Jr. for 2nd. Jeff Gordon managing to continue to hold off both Busch and Truex. But it looks like Kyle Busch managed to get the inside line here. Down the backstretch, Kyle Busch is going to get the lead. The question is, will he manage to maintain it? He's going to lead the lap here. Still hasn't managed to clear Jeff Gordon just yet. You see Kurt Busch now making his moves through the field, passing Kevin Harvick for 4th. Kyle Busch has managed to clear Jeff Gordon now. with 2 to go in the race. Jeff Gordon's going to try to make a move on the inside here of Kyle Busch. Going to 3 and 4, they're side by side. Coming to the white flag, no car has a clear advantage. 1 to go here in the SMCS race at Kansas. So we have a wreck here on the front stretch. Big wreck. Ryan Newman in the back of Trevor Bayne. Caution is out on the last lap. Kyle Busch is going to come through under caution to win the race here at Kansas. Advancing into the round of 8 just like that. As we have the ambulance here, it looks like nobody is injured after this crazy wreck. Kansas certainly has not been nice to both Larson and Newman this year. This is the second time they've been involved in a wreck here. Kyle Busch, as aforementioned, is the winner here at Kansas. Here's the replay of the last lap and the incident that took place during it. Not much happened here as we had Kyle Busch managing to maintain the lead over Jeff Gordon just long enough for the caution to fly. It looks like Kyle Larson got into Trevor Bayne and Ryan Newman had nowhere to go after that started. Thankfully, no one else was involved there. Here are the official results for today's race. Kyle Busch, Jeff Gordon, and Kurt Busch are your top 3. Meanwhile, further back in the field, we have drivers like David Reagan, Danica Patrick, all the way up in 31st and 32nd that were involved in wrecks earlier in this race. Certainly a chaotic race when 13, or at least 13 of the drivers in this race were involved in some incident or another. We have here the point standings. Kyle Busch is officially moving up to the next round. Jeff Gordon has a great chance behind him, as Tony Stewart and Ryan Blaney are outside the points window, with it being almost a must-win for Kyle Larson and Ryan Newman now. So we have the rest of our point standings. We have a 3-way tie right now for 24th. Sam Horace Jr., Stenhouse Jr., and McMurray. Not much has changed through the field. Typical drivers in their normal places in the point standings. As we have our 2 part-time drivers, Reagan Smith and Alex Bowman, in the back as ever. Well, congratulations once again to Kyle Busch and the sponsors for this number 18 machine. Been a fun one to watch with all of you, commentate, film. Hope you'll come back next time and we'll be racing at Austin Superspeedway in the elimination race for this round of 12 here. Hope you all had a great time today watching this race. Have a great day.